Good day. Mike Kinney here, going to give you a little bit of an overview of the equipment that we want to sell. And we've got it all lined up here together today. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about when we acquired it, the amount of use on it, and other information that you might find to be useful. So we'll start here with a zero-turn mower. We acquired this in the early part of 2019, so it's been used one season. 725 cc's and 54-inch cut. The next item over here is our 500 Polaris four-wheeler, and this Polaris basically is the horse on the ranch, and we have about 120 hours on this Polaris. It's I believe a 2013 model. Moving on, we've got the Polaris Ranger 500 side-by-side vehicle. This one has 330 hours on it. It is a 2019 model, and this is our daily get around the ranch vehicle, and accordingly it probably gets used more than any other piece of equipment on the place. And then the last among these utility vehicles is a 2008 Polaris 800. We bought this Polaris 800 with one purpose in mind, really, and that was to use a pellet feeder in the bed and to feed pellets throughout the wintertime. So this utility vehicle is a 2009 model, approximately 2008, 2009, and it has just under 1,000 hours on it. Go down the list of the row here that has our primary equipment as well as all of our tractors and powered equipment in it. So we'll start here with our Vermeer baler. This is a 2007 model Vermeer 604M. It has both net wrap and twine tie. It has a new twine tie arm that's not currently mounted. We took the twine tie arm off because it seems to just be more of an opportunity for hay to clog up, so we took it off. This baler has about 10,000 hours on it. We keep it under the big shed pretty religiously. Next is our Kubota excavator. It's a KX040-4. This Kubota is a 2015 model, I believe. It has right at 360 hours on it. Some of the important features would include a 6-way blade. It has the thumb mounted, which makes it possible and facilitates grabbing things, particularly down trees, down tree limbs, things that you want to pick up and pile up. We also have two buckets. Mounted on here is the 1-foot bucket that we use for trenching, and just behind me here is the 2-foot bucket that we use for really everything else. Moving on, this is our Kubota 108X tractor. It's the most sophisticated tractor we have. It's a 2009 model. It has about 2,300 hours on it. It has a 2-range power shift transmission, so two ranges of 8 speeds each. Electronic controls on the 3-point. Also has 3-point control on the back fender to make it easier to pick up or to move the 3-point arms up and down when you're mounting implements. It has the LA 1301S loader on it, and that's a self-leveling loader, and obviously comes with a bucket attached. The latest tractor that we purchased was the Kubota L2501, and you can see that it has a mower mounted on the back, loader mounted on the front. We use this to mow the acres around the buildings primarily, and to some extent down around the road. It has the LA 525 loader on it, and it has the Land Pride shredder, 6-foot shredder on the back. This tractor has right at 300 hours on it, and it's just a few years old. It's hydrostatic drive rather than, and so it makes it very, very nimble to get around. We also use this tractor to pull one of our pellet feeders, and I'll talk about that momentarily. The next tractor is the Kubota M8560, and this tractor is a 2014 model, I believe. It has around 1,560 hours, I believe, on it. It has 2-range transmission with 4 speeds each. We use this tractor. It's really a handy horsepower, fuel efficient tractor, and we use it to pull our large cube feeder in the wintertime, and we use it to rake hay in the summertime. We also use it to gather bales and so forth, so it's a very functional tractor. Moving on, the first cab tractor we bought was this M95S. This tractor has a basic 4-speed transmission. It has a 2-speed electric and then two manual 2-speeds. So altogether it has 32 forward speeds and 32 backward speeds. This tractor, we recently put new tires on the front of it. It has right at 3,300 hours on it. It's a really good tractor. It has a new seat in it, and it's a comfortable tractor to drive, and again, fuel efficient, powerful, and it's probably the tractor that I go to most to do practically any task on the place. It has a Bush Hog 646 loader, and it comes with a bucket attached. This is going to be a 7-foot bucket. Okay, moving on. Here is our Gooseneck 24-foot stock trailer. I've just power washed the inside of it. It has rubber mats. It's always had rubber mats on the floor, so the wood flooring in this thing is immaculate, really. You can see the trailer's in pretty good shape. Original tarp on top. It has 2 dividers, so we have 3 sections of 8 foot each. It's a 24-foot trailer, and it's about a 2005 model, as I recall. Okay, now our hay trailers, or our cube feeders rather. So we have two of these Trip Hopper T&S cube feeders. The first one here is 6,000 pounds. It's got an electric drive unit. This is the one we pull with the M8560. It's nice in that you can turn the feeder on and off from the cab of the tractor, and that's both a safety factor and a convenience factor. And of course it has dual axles under it, and this is a somewhat newer trailer than the first one, which we'll go to next. So the first one we bought was this mechanical drive feeder. So again, holds 3,000 pounds of cubes. Drives off the left rear wheel here. So you get out of the tractor, turn it on, turn it off. The price of the mechanical drive for the same size is identical to the electrical drive, so there's no cost advantage or disadvantage. In many ways, this is just simpler to maintain, simpler to set up. No electrical hookups required, just hook on and go. And this unit was bought a couple years before the electric drive unit we just looked at. Now the hay trailers. So this is a Hay King 4-bale trailer. We bought this thing probably around 2005. It doesn't require a license. We don't have a title to it, but we bought it from Norman G. Tractor, like most of the other equipment you're seeing here today. And works well. We use this both sometimes to take multiple bales out to a pasture to feed, as well as gathering hay up during the hay season. But to gather the hay up for the hay season, we primarily use this next bale hauler, this Kotara. The Kotara holds 12 bales. It's a 3-axle trailer, really heavy duty. So if we roll up hay out in the field, we're going to use this to gather that hay up and bring it in. When we sell hay to a neighbor, we're going to use this trailer to gather those bales up and deliver them. One of the relatively unique aspects here is what we've done up front. So this is a gooseneck trailer, or neck over trailer, but we have built this dolly, and this dolly allows us to pull this trailer with a tractor. So we never have to take our pickup out into the field in order to collect hay or to deliver hay. So this trailer connected to this dolly is a really functional unit. And in the summertime when we're baling hay, it gets used a good deal. Here we have a 12-foot heavy-duty harrow. It has, you can flip it one way and it's less aggressive. Flip it over and it'll be more aggressive. We use this in the pastures to break up cow manure. We can also use it to remedy hog damage. It works pretty well for that. Next, we have a Preferred portable loading chute. This is in excellent shape. The paint's a little bit faded, but we've actually used it just one time, and so it's good to go. beyond that, we get into our disc mower that we use. This disc mower is a Krone 323S, which means it's about a 10-foot cut. It's mounted on a Stony Point SPM 5410 caddy. And so the caddy we bought simply because it makes hooking up to the mower and unhooking a breeze relative to trying to hook that mower up in its original 3-point status. So we use these caddies. We really like that to make it more convenient to attach and detach the mower. Next we have the Lakeland pellet feeder. This was acquired in Canada and shipped down here. We use this, you can pull it behind one of the utility vehicles. We pull it behind the L2501 during the winter time to get more use out of that tractor. This holds about 800 pounds of pellets. The flow limiter in here is fixed, so it's fixed for pellets. It's electric drive and works very, very well. We have our creek feeder. This creek feeder is in fair condition, but certainly usable. It's obviously dual access from both sides. I can't remember how much feed it holds, but around 20 bags as I recall. Next we have a cone spreader. So it's upside down obviously, but this spreader it can be used to spread fertilizer. We use it to spread ryegrass seeds when we want to overseed ryegrass in the fall. Again, it's a 3-point mount and would mount on any of the tractors here. We have a small harrow, 4-foot harrow that we use to pull behind either the utility vehicle or the 4-wheeler. Here is an 8-bag cube feeder, which again is 3-point mount and would attach to any of the tractors here. And if we just need to feed a few bags and are concerned about safety and don't want to feed straight out of the bag, we use this. Next is a really valuable time-saving tool. This is a wire roller, wire unroller. As you can see, it's hydraulically powered, and we use it behind any of the tractors, but it'll roll up electric wire. It'll, like our electric fence behind here, or it will roll up barbed wire, and it'll do it quickly and safely. And you can also use the same apparatus and same rig to unroll that wire. Next we have a quick connect 3-point hitch that'll handle up to category 2 equipment. That's from Tractor Supply Company. And then we have this ultra low volume spreader. We use this to spread Amdro to kill fire ants in the pastures. And the novel aspect of this spreader is that it can spread as little as a pound per acre, which is obviously why it's called an ultra low volume spreader. Again, 3-point mount, and we use any of the tractors to operate it. This is our Stoll feeder that we mount in the back of that Polaris 800 and spends the winter there. You can feed cubes, you can feed pellets out of here. We use it to feed pellets. It has an adjustable flow limiter in it. It has a powerful electric motor, and this works flawlessly, and we've had this for about 5 years. The next item here is another disc mower. This disc mower is a 283S, which means it's a little over 9 feet. The mower itself is not currently working. It's mounted to a Stony Point caddy. The caddy's in good shape and ready to go. The mower could be repaired or could be used for parts. All the parts will fit the 323S that we looked at just a few moments ago. Moving on. Here we have an Armstrong Ag grapple. This grapple fits the 8560, the M8560. We have mid-mount hydraulic couplers on that tractor that are made for this grapple. So this grapple works well to pick up down limbs, small trees and so forth. It's powerful, it's well built, and it's easy to operate because it operates off the joystick, so you have just one-hand operation of both the loader and the grapple. Next we have grapples that fit the M95. So the M95 has the Bush Hog 646 loader. These two grapples fit that tractor. Both of these grapples are in kind of rough shape, but I think between the two, one good grapple could be compiled. Then we get into a series of bale spears. So We have bale spears that fit the quick connects on the 8560 and the 108X, and also bale spear that fits the 646 loader on the M95. So we have 3 of these loader mounts, and one for each tractor basically. Then we have 2 3-point mounts that we use on the rear of the tractor so we can haul 2 bales at one time, one in the front, one in the back. Here are 2 bale unrollers. So the one we currently use this year, and this is kind of our backup one that will work when we need it. And then we have a yard rake, a landscape rake rather. I think it's 6 feet wide, and we use that to fix hog damage. So limited use, but it's effective when you need it. Next is our Vermeer baler. So our Vermeer wheel rake, and this is about a 22-foot wide. It's a WR22 model, about 22 foot wide, 10 wheel rake. It is in fair to good condition. Doesn't need much service work, much repair work before it's ready to go for the next season. And then we get into the Krone tedder. So this Krone tedder is a 4-basket tedder, and I don't recall off the top of my head what year we bought it, but it's around 10 years old, perhaps slightly older than that. Works really, really well, and we don't need it too much in the middle of the season, but for that first hay cutting in May, when you tend to have wet mornings, this really does accelerate the dry down time. The same thing may be true later in the fall if you're still putting up hay then. We pull this with any of the 3 larger tractors. The 8560 works great on it. We probably pull it with that more than the others. Next we have the Armstrong Ag gopher getter. So from time to time we have a problem with gophers, and this is the tool we use to take care of the gophers. It works really effectively. Those times where we've had to use this machine, we have been very successful in killing off the gophers in the pasture. And again, hasn't had a lot of use, but when you need it, you need it. The first sprayer we bought for the place was this 200-gallon boomless sprayer. It's absolutely ready to go. Got the pump attached to it, and it's a 3-point mount. We've used all the tractors we own, the 3 big tractors particularly, to pull this thing. It works very, very well. And we prefer to use this sprayer when we're out in the pasture east of our driveway, just because we mitigate the possibility of getting a flat tire off if we use the trailer sprayer. But here is the boom sprayer, the sprayer that we use the most. This is 500 gallons, and again, it's a boom type sprayer. Has a relatively new pump on it. We've replaced the gauges, and we've replaced the distribution equipment up top here. But it's in good condition, and it's also ready to go. Next we have 2 Rhino 10-foot shredders. So this is the newer of the 2. Again, the model is TW120. It's a heavy-duty shredder. We pull these 2 shredders with our 2 larger tractors, and particularly out in that east pasture, we can clean that pasture up with these shredders in relatively short order. And both of these shredders work quite well for maintaining pastures. Very heavy duty. Next, down here we have a grader. We use this to maintain the driveway. We haven't been down the driveway with it lately, but obviously we need to get down the driveway with it. We pull this with a 108X. The 108X fits the width dimensions of this grader a little bit better. We bought this from Normandy Tractor. Works really well. And next we have the Athens 62 disc. This disc we use, it's not great for primary tillage. It's not heavy enough, but it works wonderfully if we want to, for example, scrape up the surface of a pasture to overseed with ryegrass in the winter. If you have severe hog damage, this tool will do better than any other tool to fix that damage. Any of the tractors except for the L2501 will pull this disc just fine, so it's easy pulling. We also had a fire out here one time that spread from the neighbor's place. We used this disc to protect our property by disking a fire line in, and it worked pretty good for that too. We have a 500-gallon water storage tank here, and this tank is used to resupply the 500-gallon sprayer. The point being, when you come in to refill, you don't want to wait for the hydrant to refill your 500-gallon tank. With this 500-gallon tank already full when you come in, you can we have a gasoline pump for this that will empty this tank in about 3 minutes, and you can be ready to go in relatively short order. Same story here. This is a 200-gallon supply tank, and it worked perfectly for the 200-gallon sprayer that we have up there. So these are matched to the tankage of the two spray units. We also have about a dozen of these feed bunks. They're 10-foot long, they're poly-lined, steel framed, and we use these to feed calves in the wintertime. If we're short on winter feed, we can use them also to feed cows, and they get used every winter. We also have a number of these bale rings, maybe 4 or 5 of them. They are in fair to good condition, and we use them in the wintertime primarily to feed our bulls when we have them up here in the corrals.